did part A in a previous video, so now we're on to part B. If the length of BC is 21, the length of EC is 18, and the length of DC is 14, find the length of AE. Notice how I don't just say AE. Without the bar above it, this means the length of AE. So first thing I'm going to do is just take all these pieces of information and put them on my diagram. So BC is 21. I go like this and mark the whole thing as being 21. EC is 18. EC, I put an 18 there. And DC is 14. The goal of the problem is to find AE. We're not going to do that directly. What I want to focus on is something we can do based off of what we know so far in the problem. So if you think back to part A, first off, the thing we know is that these two triangles are similar. What we've been talking about in this class is once we know two triangles are similar, just because their angles are congruent, we can also begin to talk about their sides, their corresponding sides, being proportional. Okay, so once again, we know the triangles are similar because the angles are congruent, but now we can go a step further and talk about the proportions of sides, ratios of sides being proportional. So what I'm going to do, what might help us with that, is since these triangles are kind of overlapping on one another, I'm going to separate them. So I'm going to focus on, here's ABC, A, B, C, and all I know is that BC is 21. In my smaller triangle, EDC, EDC, I've got a 14 and an 18. And I'll also add the arc marks, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So I know these two triangles are similar, which means the corresponding sides are proportional. So if I look at 21 in this triangle, what does that correspond with? Well, hopefully we can agree that 21 and 14 kind of function the same way in each triangle. I would say 21 is the medium length side, right? We've got a small side, a medium side, and a large side. Likewise, 14 is kind of the medium length side in its triangle. So as far as creating ratios, I would probably go 21 is related to 14. In the same way, now I go for a different ratio. So if I go from bigger triangle to smaller triangle, I want 21 to 14. Now I can either go with this side or that side, AB or AC. If I talk about AB, I don't really have anything I know about in the other triangle. Versus if I talk about AC, I actually have something to compare that to in the other triangle. So at this point, I've got 21 to 14, medium side to medium side, and I'm going to compare that to large side in the two triangles. So AC, which I don't know yet, but I'm going to compare that to something I do know, which is this length of 18. Okay, so one more time, if I look at this ratio, 21 and 14, these are both the medium sides of their respective triangles. AC and 18 are both the large side of their respective triangles. Looking across, 21 and AC, these both have to do with the bigger triangle. And 14 and 18, these both have to do with the smaller triangle. Once again, checking all parts of my ratios and proportions to make sure that I'm consistent with how I'm setting things up. At this point, I want to solve for AC, so I'm going to multiply each side by 18. That'll cancel there. Now I've got 18 times 21 divided by 14. I don't have a calculator on me right now, but we can do this without a calculator and without having to actually do the long multiplication. What goes into both 21 and 14? 7. So I can take 7 out of 21, which leaves me with 3. I take 7 out of 14, that leaves me with 2. Now I've got 18 times 3 divided by 2. Well, 18 and 2 have something in common. I can take 2 out of both of these. I take 2 out of 18, and I'm left with 9. And I take 2 out of 2, and I'm left with 1. So this whole bottom part is 1. Now all that's left up here is to do 9 times 3. Well, what is 9 times 3? That's 27. So I end up with AC equals 27. I can go back to my original diagram. I now know AC is 27. So if AC is 27 and EC is 18, hopefully we agree that if I just take away 18 from 27, that'll leave me with whatever AE is. So at this point, all I have to do is 27 minus 18, and that'll give me 9. And so we end up with the actual thing that we want to find out, AE. AE equals 9.